أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. والشمس وضحاها والقمر إذا تلاها والنهار إذا جلاها والليل إذا يغشاها والسماء وما بناها والأرض وما طحاها ونفس وما سواها فألهمها فجورها وتقواها. قد أفلح من تزكى قد أفلح من زكاها وقد خاب من دساها. كذبت ثمود بتقواها إذ انبعث أشقاها فقال لهم رسول الله ناقة الله وسقياها فكذبوه فعقروها فدمدم عليهم ربهم بذنبهم فسواها ولا يخاف عقباها. صدق الله العلي العظيم. صلوات. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. والسماء والطارق وما أدراك ما الطارق. النجم الثاقب. إن كل نفس لما عليها حافظ. فلينظر الإنسان مما خلق. خلق من ماء دافق يخرج من بين الصلب والترائب إنه على رجعه لقادر. يوم تبلى السرائر فما له من قوة ولا ناصر. والسماء ذات الرجع والأرض ذات الصدع إنه لقول فصل وما هو بالهزل. إنهم يكيدون كيدا وأكيد كيدا فمهل الكافرين أمهلهم رويدا. صدق الله العلي العظيم. صلوات.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. وجاء ربك والملك صفا صفا. وجيء يومئذ بجهنم يومئذ يتذكر الإنسان وأنى له الذكرى. يقول يا ليتني قدمت لحياتي فيومئذ لا يعذب عذابه أحد ولا يوثق وثاقه أحد يا أيتها النفس المطمئنة ارجعي إلى ربك راضية مرضية فادخلي في عبادي وادخلي جنتي صدق الله العلي العظيم صلوات
सलवात पढ़िए। बारे दे के सलवात पढ़िए। ओ सलाम उस पर जो कैदी भी है बीमार भी है, हो सलाम उस पर जो कैदी भी है बीमार भी है, पाँव में अब्ल है और अब्लों में खार भी हैं, हो सलाम उस पर जब उन्हें नजर आया तो रो रो के कहा, ये मेरे बाबा का कातिल भी है, खूंखार भी है, हो सलाम उस पर पहुंचे जब कूफा के नजदीक तो ज़ैनब ने कहा, पहुंचे जब कूफे के नजदीक तो ज़ैनब ने कहा, सरे उरिया भी है बलवा भी है बाजार भी है, हो सलाम उस पर पूछा एक शख्स ने शबीर तुम्हारा था कौन। पूछा एक शख्स ने, शबीर तुम्हारा था कौन। बोले आका भी हैं, बाबा भी हैं, सरदार भी हैं। हो सलाम उस पर। कहता था तो के गिरा, आया मेरे हिस्से में। कहता था तो के गिरा, आया मेरे हिस्से में। वरना इस फौज में खंजर भी है, तलवार भी हैं। ओ सलाम उस पर। अपने बाबा के चलन पर मैं चले जाता हूँ। अपने बाबा के चलन पर मैं चले जाता हूँ। वरना मुझ में असरे हैदरे कर्रार भी है। ओ सलाम उस पर जो कैदी भी है, बीमार भी है। हो सलाम उस पर। सलवात पढ़ें।
दरूद पर मोहम्मद आले मोहम्मद। ये सोचता हूँ कि आबिद का हाल क्या होगा। ये सोचता हूँ कि आबिद का हाल क्या होगा। असीर हो के वो जब शाम में गया होगा। असीर हो के वो जब शाम में गया होगा। ये सोचता हूँ। सुना है शाम में जाते ही खून रोने लगा। सुना है शाम में जाते ही खून रोने लगा। न जाने शेम्र ने उस वक्त क्या कहा होगा। न जाने शेम्र ने उस वक्त क्या कहा होगा। ये सोचता हूँ गले के तोक ने आबिद को क्या झुकाना था। गले के तोक ने आबिद को क्या झुकाना था। वो अपने खोए हुए लाल ढूंढता होगा। वो अपने खोए हुए लाल ढूंढता होगा। ये सोचता हूँ वो जुल्म देखे हैं सजाद ने हुसैन के बाद। वो जुल्म देखे हैं सजाद ने हुसैन के बाद। मुझे यकीन है कि अब तक भी रो रहा होगा। मुझे यकीन है कि अब तक भी रो रहा होगा। ये सोचता हूँ जो गौर कीजिए तो आबिद बशर नहीं लगता। जो गौर कीजिए तो आबिद बशर नहीं लगता। दुख दर्द का खुदा होगा मेरे ख्याल में, दुख दर्द का खुदा होगा। ये सोचता हूँ वो याद करता तो होगा वतन की शाही को, वो याद करता तो होगा वतन की शाही को। बहन को दफन जो परदेस में किया होगा, बहन को दफन जो परदेस में किया होगा। ये सोचता हूँ कि आबिद का हाल क्या होगा, असीर हो के वो जब शाम में गया होगा। ये सोचता हूँ। दरूद पर मोहम्मद वाले मोहम्मद।
I have a couple announcements and a request. The first one is that inshallah the bus for Julus will go to New York City on Sunday. We still have 10-15 seats available. So if you like to get on the bus, please give your name to Sayyid Hasnain Sahab and $20. And inshallah you will go to New York City. Second is that our youth group is organizing a Thanksgiving event on November 21st. They are working with a mission here in Albany. They will go there and help prepare the meal and help distribute the meal to those who are in need. So if you have not registered, those who would like to participate in it, please do so. If you need more information, you can talk to Brother Ali Akbar Rupani or Sister Mushba and Sister who else? Yasmin Ahmadi. Sorry, Yasmin, you asked me to announce it. Old age. Finally, a request to Sayyid. I got a text from Sheikh Shubar that he is in the hospital and he has asked for dua. So, inshallah, when you finish the majlis, from the member, please recite Amma Yujib for him.
Brothers and sisters, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. We are in the last couple of nights of the English lecture, inshallah. So we have an opportunity to listen to Sayyid Mostafa al-Modaressi. So without delay, please join me in welcoming him to the minbar with a recitation of a loud salawat. Allahumma sallallahu.
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله الذي هدانا لهذا وما كنا لنهتدي لولا أن هدانا الله. لقد جاءت رسل ربنا بالحق. السلام عليك يا رسول الله وعلى أهل بيتك المظلومين، لا سيما الإمام المبين والكهف الحصين وغياث المضطر المستكين وملجأ الهاربين مولانا وولي أمرنا الحجة ابن الحسن فداه أرواح العالمين. السلام عليك يا أبا عبد الله وعلى المستشهدين بين يديك ورحمة الله وبركاته. Please recite aloud salawat.
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد.
I have no doubt, and I say this with utmost confidence, that we all love Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam. The affection that we have for the Imam is an experiential feeling, experience that we have. And it's not just us. As I mentioned last night, anyone that gets to know the Imam will fall in love with Hussein ibn Ali. His story conquers the hearts and minds of the people, irrespective of their religious beliefs and their political affiliations. Because his story has all the elements of a blockbuster movie. It has the passion, the love, the valor, the bravery and courage, the tragic aspect, the selflessness, and all the elements of a blockbuster movie. And it's due to our shortcomings that we haven't been able to market the story of Imam al-Hussein. Otherwise, it has all the elements and the intrigue and the selling point to be embraced by people from all walks of life. Now there is no doubt that we love Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam. Now that we've established that, we need to bear in mind that the real challenge is to translate this love into deep connection, devotion, and into taking concrete steps in following Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam, in embracing Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam, and not just loving him. The first step is to know him. Once you get to know him, you will fall in love. After falling in love, you should establish that connection with the Imam, to follow the Imam. Because the Prophet said it loud and clear. He said, my progeny are like Noah's Ark. I believe that these stories that are mentioned in the Quran are not mentioned just for the historic significance of these stories. The Quran is not trying to tell us stories. When he mentions the story of Nuh, the story of Moses, the story of Isa, the story of Ibrahim, the stories of the Israelites throughout the Quran, these are examples. And we need to establish the link. Our minds need to be directed and diverted to what the Quran is trying to say and convey. So the Prophet says, you've all heard the story of Nuh alayhi salam and what happened to him. مثل أهل بيتي فيكم كسفينة نوح. My progeny are like Noah's Ark. It's not enough to believe in Nuh. It's not enough to believe in his ark. It's not enough to be the son of Nuh alayhi salam if you don't board his ark. And there is no alternative to his ark. There is no alternative to the ark. Even if you climb the highest mountain and you happen to be his own son, you'll drown eventually. كَسَفِينَةُ نُوحٍ. The only option that you have is to board the ark, is to follow Hussein, is to embrace Abu Abdullah al-Hussein. This is the real challenge. This is why the question that we need to ask ourselves is that if I was in the year 61 Hijrah, on the day of Ashura, where would I stand? Would I be with the Imam? Would I be a spectator? Would I be indifferent to what befalls the Imam? Or would I side with the enemies? As much as I like to think that I would join the Imam, especially now that I know what happened, and I know the results of all the people that took part, the outcome of all the people that took part in the story, the enemies, the friends of Abu Abdullah al-Hussein. Now that we know the outcome, where do I stand? If I happen to go back in time with the same mindset that I have right now, with the same beliefs that I hold right now, if I go back in time, where would I stand? As much as I love to think that I would join Abu Abdullah al-Hussein, sadly, the majority of the people that claim to love Abu Abdullah, they will not be joining Abu Abdullah al-Hussein. It's like the story of that guy who always used to say, Ya laytana kunna ma'akum, only if I was with Hussein on the day of Ashura. I would be like Abis, I would be like Habib, I would be like Burayr, I would be like Zuhair, I would be like his companions. فَنَفُوزَ فَوْزًا عَظِيمًا. I would succeed. I would give the blood of my heart. I would lay my soul for the Imam, ransom myself for my master. So he used to say that all the time. Until one night, he was asleep. He sees a dream. He sees himself on the day of Ashura standing beside the Imam after the martyrdom of all his companions. So the Imam was alone. So the Imam looks at him and says, you always used to say, Ya laytana kunna ma'akum, right? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is now giving you the chance to support me. So all of a sudden, the guy found himself alone with the Imam, and he was confident that if he stays with the Imam, he's going to get killed. And he wasn't prepared for that. He wasn't ready for that. So he was very hesitant. But he had to come up with an excuse. So he said, Sayyidi, I don't have a sword. The Imam said, here, take my sword. He said, Sayyidi, but I don't have an armor. He said, come, take my armor and wear it. Ya Aba Abdullah, I don't have a helmet. I need a helmet. I'll give you my helmet. He said, Ya Aba Abdullah, I need a horse. Maybe only 19 of the Imam's soldiers had a horse. The rest were infantry. They didn't have a horse. One of them was Qasim ibn al-Hasan. And you know someone, an enemy combatant, riding on a horse. The enemies, they outnumbered. It was an unbalanced war. They outnumbered the companions of Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam. But in addition to that, most of them were riding on the back of their horses, while the majority of Imam al-Hussein's companions did not have horses to ride on. It was a very unbalanced war. Historians tell us that during the first and initial onslaught, when the initial onslaught took place, فَمَنْ جَلَتِ الْغَبْرَةِ إِلَّا وَعَنْ خَمْسِينَ صَرِيعًا مِنْ أَصْحَابِ الْحُسَيْنِ. They engaged in an all-out war. And then when the dust settled, 50 of the Imam's companions were lying dead on the plains of Karbala. 50 from the 73, excluding the relatives of Imam Hussein, the Hashemites. فَبَانَ الْإِنْكِسَارُ فِي وَجْهِ الْحُسَيْنِ. You could see signs of anguish in the face of Abu Abdullah. Imagine, 50 of your companions are butchered, lying on the plains of Karbala. So people riding on their horses, they have an advantage over you. When Qasim ibn al-Hasan went to the battlefield, and he was only 13, his enemies surrounded him, they besieged him. He has to jump to attack the enemy combatants. This is why historians tell us that when Imam al-Hussein's brother, he had a brother called On, the son of al-Banin. Perhaps he was in his early 20s. He sought permission from the Imam to go to the battlefield and fight and get killed. So the Imam gave him permission. As he was about to leave to go to the battlefield, he was showered with arrows. فَأَتَتْهُمُ السِّهَامْ كَالْمَطَرِ. He was with Imam al-Hussein, standing next to him. He was showered with arrows. And an arrow is not a joke. Imagine a knife being thrown at you. So he was showered with arrows. So the Imam looked at his brother and said, Akhi, how do you want to confront an entire army single-handedly? You're alone. You have at least 30,000 people that want to fight you. He looked at Imam al-Hussein with confidence. The Imam was testing him. He looked at the Imam with confidence and he said, Akhi Abu Abdullah, من كان باذلا فيك مهجته لا يبالي بالكثرة والقلة. Someone who's giving you the blood of his heart doesn't really care about the number of people that have come to shed his blood. I don't really care. Whether they're 30,000 or 300,000 or 3 million or 300 million people, I don't care. And this is where their courage and bravery came from, because of the sacrificial spirit that they had. لا يبالي بالكثرة والقلة. So this guy, he was saying this dream. The Imam said, I'll give you my horse. Take it. Go and fight. So he was on the back of his horse, doesn't know what to do, when all of a sudden Lady Zainab called Imam al-Hussein. So when Imam al-Hussein looked at his sister Zainab, the guy escaped. He ran away, ran for his life. But he was seeing a dream, so he got up and started running. His wife, who was sleeping next to him, she said, what's wrong with you? He said, be quiet. If it wasn't for Lady Zainab, you would have been widowed by now. So all these sayings that he's been repeating يا ليتنا كنا معكم فنفوز فوزا عظيما. He thought, even though it was a dream, but he thought it was a reality. He thought that if he would go back in time, he would stand with Abu Abdullah al-Hussein. But do we have what it takes? Do we possess the qualities that would enable us to be with Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam? Now the reason why Imam al-Hussein is the gauge. Imam al-Hussein represents the absolute truth. This is why we need to measure our distance from Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam. There is a hadith that says, بِالْحُسَيْنِ تَسْعَدُونَ وَبِالْحُسَيْنِ تَشْقَوْنَ. You succeed through Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam. You go to paradise through Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam. He is the bridge. But you also fail through Hussein alayhi salam. If you abandon Hussein, if the distance between you and Imam al-Hussein is huge, that means you've abandoned Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam. You will fail in life's ultimate test. So do we possess the qualities that would enable us to be with Imam al-Hussein? Brothers and sisters, the story of Imam al-Hussein was designed to serve a purpose. And the purpose is to see where we stand in life. Otherwise, as I mentioned last night, we can't change anything in history. Things that happen, Imam al-Hussein has been martyred. He's with his Lord. He's in paradise right now. He's the master of the youth of paradise. We can't change any of that. What we can change is the stance that we make in life. When Imam al-Hussein was about to leave, to go to Karbala, or ostensibly go to the city of Kufa, he said, he gave a sermon, a very short, concise sermon. He said, Allah, فَمَنْ كَانَ مِنْكُمْ فَمَنْ كَانَ بَاذِلًا. Anyone who is willing to give the blood of his heart, وَمُوَطِّنًا عَلَى لِقَاءِ اللَّهِ نَفْسَهُ فَلْيَخْرُجْ مَعَنَا فَإِنِّي رَاحِلٌ غَدًا إِنْ شَاءَ اللَّهِ. Anyone who's willing to make sacrifices. Otherwise, if you're selfish, if you're not willing to make sacrifices, and God is testing us. God is testing us with small, trivial things. If you're not willing to wake up in the morning to spare 5 minutes of your time to pray Fajr prayer, how would you be willing to be with Imam al-Hussein or Imam al-Zaman عجل الله تعالى فرجه الشريف? If you're not willing to abstain from making a sinful gaze when a beautiful woman passes by, how would you be willing to be with Imam al-Hussein and Imam al-Zaman? If you're not willing to abstain from sin, if you're not willing, and God is testing us, to give money, it's difficult, right? For godly causes. But these are small sacrifices that you have to make so that you would be able to make the ultimate sacrifice. So the Imam is saying anyone who is willing to make sacrifices should join us. A lot of people didn't heed to the Imam's message, didn't comprehend what the Imam was trying to say. So they joined the Imam. 5,000 people joined the Imam when he left the city of Mecca. But then the Imam started to filter them out. Only the cream of the crop, the purified ones would stay with the Imam. Otherwise, initially, all the people would think, yeah, I would stay with the Imam. But then he filtered them out. They go to a place, two people coming from the city of Kufa, they tell the Imam that we have news from the city of Kufa. They said to the Imam, should we tell you in public or in private? Because the news is not pleasant. The Imam said, I don't want to hide anything from my companions. The Imam is not there to deceive them. No, they should know. So they said, Ya Abu Abdullah, by God, we left the city of Kufa while the body of Muslim ibn Aqil, your personal ambassador and representative, and Hani ibn Urwa were being dragged in the alleys of Kufa. This would put an end to the Imam's, ostensibly, aspirations. So the people that joined the Imam, thinking that the Imam would go to Kufa and lead a revolt and then rule, they realized that his personal representative, who was initially 30,000 people pledged their allegiance to Muslim ibn Aqil when he first went to Kufa. But then when he finished Salatul Isha, after Ubaidullah ibn Ziyad assumed power in the city, Ubaidullah was a 28-year-old cruel despot. He was only 28, but he was a vicious killer. So he came, he threatened the people, he killed few individuals, so people were afraid. When Muslim ibn Aqil finished his salat, he found that there were only 2 people praying behind him. When he finished Salatul Isha, there was no one praying behind him. So the Imam received the news that his body was being dragged in the alleys of Kufa. The majority of people left the Imam. Then the Imam came to Karbala. He used to give sermons and lectures until the eve of Ashura. On the eve of Ashura, the Imam gave a sermon and he told everyone to leave except for Ali al-Akbar. He said, Ali al-Akbar is my personal sacrifice, should stay with me. Otherwise, Abbas, leave. Burayr, leave. Muslim Habib ibn Mudahir, leave. I want you to leave him because these people, they want to kill me. They have nothing to do with you guys. Why should you be held accountable for my sin? As they say, it's sin. You should all leave me. The narrations tell us that the Imam, he extinguished the lantern so that people could comfortably leave without being embarrassed. You could all leave. The majority left the Imam and only his companions remained. On the day of Ashura, however, the Imam's message was different. On the eve, he was telling them to leave, but on the day of Ashura, he was asking people for support. He was making a plea, asking the people to defend him. Why? One of our scholars say the reason why the Imam was telling them to leave on the eve of Ashura is to filter them out, so that the impure ones would leave and only the pure ones would stay. On the day of Ashura, however, he wanted to see if there are any people in the army of Umar ibn Sa'd who would want to join the Imam, like a last minute thing. People like Hurr ibn Yazid al-Riyahi. Incidentally, Hurr has a beautiful story because Hurr, he joined the Imam. His brother, who was in the enemy's army, in the enemy's camp, he realized that Hurr joined the Imam. It's his turn to join the Imam as well. So he told Umar ibn Sa'd, my brother just betrayed your trust. Allow me to go and fight and kill him. He said, go. So he went, charged at the camp of Imam al-Hussein as if he wants to fight his brother. He wants to charge at his brother to kill him. He went, he threw his sword and he embraced his brother and he joined the ranks of Imam al-Hussein. Hurr had a slave who was still in the camp of Umar ibn Sa'd. He can't use the same plot because the brother already used it. So when he couldn't do anything but he wanted to join Imam al-Hussein, he unsheathed his sword and began to attack the enemies while he was in their camp. So the Imam says that anyone who's willing to make sacrifices should join me. Otherwise, if you're not the type of person that would make sacrifices, should leave me. Just leave me and go. That's why the Imam tried relentlessly testing his companions. One of his companions received the news on the day of Ashura that his son was arrested in Ray, modern day Tehran. So the Imam told him, your son has been arrested, so you could leave me. I give you the permission to leave me. He said, Ya Abu Abdullah, what should I do with a son now that I met you? I don't want my son, I don't want my family, I don't want my children. So the Imam gave him money to give someone else to go and free his son, so he wouldn't stay in prison. مُوَطِّنًا عَلَى لِقَاءِ اللَّهِ نَفْسَهِ. A person who is prepared for death. If you're prepared for death, then join me. Then join me. So the story was designed to prepare us, to make us prepared to make the right stance when needed. So when you look at the story of Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam, you realize that he represented the truth, and his enemies represented falsehood, even though his enemies were a majority. And Imam al-Hussein was a minority with his companions, 73 against 30,000 people. So maybe back then people were a little bit confused, things were hazy, but now we know that Imam al-Hussein represented the truth. And also, the fact that his story is a heart-wrenching story. Anyone that hears the story of Imam al-Hussein, his heart would break for the Imam. His loneliness, the fact that he was bereaved, the fact that they killed all his children. Ali al-Asghar was killed while he was in the arms of his father, as you know the story. Abdullah ibn al-Hasan, the youngest son of Imam al-Hasan al-Mushtaba, while the Imam was in the pit, like moments before the Imam's death, they say that the Imam, before he went to the battlefield, when he made the last plea, when he said, هَلْ مِن نَاصِرٍ يَنْصُرُنَا هَلْ مِن ذَابٍ يَذُبُّ عَنَّا, small children came out of the tent saying, لَبَّيْكَ أَبَا عَبْدِ اللَّهِ. One of them was Qasim ibn al-Hasan. And you had that little child who was carrying a sword, and the sword was dragging on the floor. So the sword was taller than the kid. When they heard the plea of the Imam, they came out, all the children. So the Imam said his father was recently killed in the battlefield. Maybe his mother doesn't want him to go. He said, Sayyidi Aba Abdullah, inna ummi hiya allati albasadni lamata harbi. My mother helped me wear the armor. My mother is sending me. This is how heart-wrenching the story of the Imam was. The women can't go to fight because they're women, but they could send their children. A child as young as 10 and a 10-year-old child who went, usually it was customary for the fighters to introduce themselves in the form of a poem. We call it rajaz in Arabic. But this guy, he didn't even introduce himself. That's why historians don't know what his name was. He said, Amiri Husaynun wa ni'mal amir. Hussein is my master, and what a master I have. Sururu fu'ad al-bashir al-nadhir. So they say, when the Imam fell in the pit, Abdullah ibn al-Hasan, who was very young, he was wearing earrings. He managed to slip away from his mother's hands, and he went into the battlefield to sit in the Imam's lap. An enemy combatant had come to kill the Imam, so he raised his sword to strike the Imam. Suddenly Abdullah ibn al-Hasan looked at the man. He said, Ya ibn al-Khabitha, ataqtulu ammi? O son of the wicked woman, you want to kill my uncle? And he shielded the Imam with his arms. So the man, instead of attacking Imam Hussein, he attacked the little boy, severing his hand. So he looked at the Imam, he's a child. He looked at the Imam and said, Ammah, O uncle Aba Abdullah, they severed my hands. The Imam said, soon you will join your father, my brother Imam al-Hasan al-Mushtaba. Then Harmala shot him with an arrow in his heart, killing him in the lap of Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam. So the fact that it's a heart-wrenching story, that creates that passion, that zeal, that you want to join the Imam. And this zeal is important. It plays an instrumental role in establishing this connection with the Imam. The third dimension, or the third aspect, is the inspirational stories of the companions of Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam. These stories are inspiring. This is what makes all these millions of people march towards Abu Abdullah, and they are careless about their safety. Even if they're killed, they don't care. And I've seen people who say that I wish if I am killed in the way while I'm marching to Karbala, this is an honor. One man who has a mawkib, one of those makeshift tents, he said a couple of years ago, there was a bomb blast. There was an explosion that happened on the way. So a man who was there, who was present, he went and he helped the survivors, and he carried the shuhada, and he counted the number of shuhada that fell in that explosion. They were 9. He had come from the city of Basra So he said, I'm going back to Basra. They said, why? Are you scared? Scared of the explosions? Scared of the terrorism, the terrorist acts carried out against the Shias, against the Zuwar? He said, no. But I counted the shuhada. I want to go back to Basra and bring my children, my family members to make up, compensate for the number of shuhada that fell. The sacrificial spirit comes from the inspirational stories. Imam al-Hussein told his companions to leave. One of them got up. He said, Ya Abu Abdullah, look, tomorrow we will fight until our swords break. Then we will use our hands until our hands are severed. Then we will use our heads, O Abu Abdullah, to protect you, to defend you. This is why historians tell us that when the Imam wanted to pray, 3 of his companions stood in front of the Imam to shield him because the enemies refused to stop the war. 3 of his companions stood in front of the Imam to shield him from the attacks of the enemies. So they were showering the Imam with spears and arrows. Historians tell us this. وَكَانَ الْوَاحِدُ مِنْهُمْ يَتَلَقَّ الرُّمْحَ بِوَجْهِهِ وَصَدْرِهِ وَيَدِهِ. They would shield the Imam not with their shields. They would shield the Imam from the arrows coming with their face, with their chest. And then when the Imam finished his salat, one of them who was standing in front of the Imam, he fell. So the Imam came and he placed his head on his lap. So he looked at the Imam and he said, Awafayt ya Aba Abdullah. Was I loyal enough to you, O Abu Abdullah? These inspirational stories, they create this bond. They create this zeal. This is why history tells us that during Mutawakkil Abbasi's time, he killed 70,000 people who tried to go to visit the grave of Imam al-Hussein. 70,000 people. And he chopped a lot of hands. You all know the stories. History tells us that initially the Mutawakkil, he imposed a form of tax on the people that want to visit Imam al-Hussein. So people went. And then he said, anyone that visits Hussein, from every 10 people, we should choose one person and cut his hand. People still went to the ziyarah. And then he said, every person that goes to ziyarah will chop his hand. You had people literally lining up at the checkpoint to go to ziyarah to get their hands chopped. There was an old lady who wanted to go to ziyarah. She was stopped by the authorities. The guy says to her, give me your right hand. Where are you going? She said, ziyarah. Give me your right hand. So she gave him her left hand. He said to her, an old lady who cannot distinguish between her right hand and left hand, what is she doing in the middle of the desert? She said, no, I can distinguish between my right hand and my left hand, but I gave my right hand last year. These people were inspired by the stories of the companions of Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam. Now, we should measure the distance between us and the Imam. Between us and the Imam. When we look at the people who were around the Imam, we see different levels of loyalty. You see people like Habib ibn Mudahir. Habib ibn Mudahir, he had the determination and the resolve from day one to do whatever he needs to do to stay and to be with the Imam of his time. That's why he never committed a sin. Because these sins, brothers and sisters, they create this distance between us and the Imam. They distance us from our master. He never committed a single sin in his life because he wanted to be with the Imam. We have a hadith about, sinning would make us, would create that distance between us and them. For example, the hadith says, anyone who severs his ties with his family members, with his relatives, anyone who does qati'atul rahim, the Imam said, I wouldn't sit with such a person. I wouldn't even sit with such a person. Or we have another hadith with respect to certain sexual sins. The Imam says that I wouldn't eat with such a person. So this man, Habib ibn Mudahir, wouldn't commit even a sin because he wants to be with the Imam. He's sitting in Kufa, but he was waiting for the Imam. If you want to know what waiting is and how we should wait for the Imam our time, you should study the life of Habib ibn Mudahar. He was an old man, perhaps in his 70s or 80s, so he had all the justifications to say no. He was sitting while eating with his wife when there was a knock on his door. Who is it? The guy said, Ana Rasulul Hussein. I am the messenger of Hussein. So Habib ibn Mudahar froze. And then he got up. He opened the door. He embraced the messenger. He took the letter. Before even reading it, he kissed it. He placed it on his eyes. He read the letter. The letter was from the Imam telling Habib to join him. So he wanted to test his wife. He says to her that I received a letter from Hussein telling me to join him, and I'm pretty sure if I join him, I'm going to get killed. So I'm thinking of not going, staying. His wife said to him, well, you know what, Habib, if you want to stay, take my abaya, my cloak, and wear it, and I'll go instead of you to join Hussein, to support Hussein. So he saw this resolve from his wife. She has the loyalty, the needed iman for him to leave her. So he goes to Karbala. On the eve of Ashura, Ali al-Akbar says, Ammah, Ya Habib, oh Uncle Habib, I want to talk to you. I want to have a word with you. He said, okay. In private. So he says to him that, who knows, maybe tomorrow, after the fight, or maybe in the middle of the fight, my father will decide to put his hands in the hands of Yazid and give his allegiance to him. So why should you get involved in all of this? The best thing for you to do is just leave. Habib said that, look, Bunay, oh son, Ali, I don't know what your father wants to do tomorrow, but I know what I want to do tomorrow. Tomorrow, early in the morning, I want to fight and get killed. After that, if your father wants to pledge his allegiance, wants to do anything he wants to do, I don't really care. I'm here to get killed. So you have this type. The type, like Habib ibn Mudahar. And you have the type where they knew who Hussein was. They believed in Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam. They loved Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam. But they were not willing to pay the price for their loyalty. Like Ubaidullah ibn al-Hurr al-Juhfi. The Imam himself came to visit him when he was in his tent. So the guy said to the Imam, Ibn Rasulullah. He was one of the soldiers, one of the commanders in Imam Ali's army. I know you represent the truth. I know you're the son of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. But I also know that the people of Kufa will betray you. And that I won't be able to change the equation. For example, now you have 73. If I join you, your companions will be 74. But you won't win in that war. The thing is, if you want to look for justifications, you could probably find the justifications. But it's not up to you to decide what the Imam's final objective is. You need to support the Imam now. Then he said to the Imam, Ibn Rasulullah, look, I left the city of Kufa because I didn't want you to enter the city and ask for my support, and I don't want to support you. Then he said to the Imam, I don't want to join you, but instead, here, this is my sword. The value of this sword is 1,000 dinars. Very expensive, very valuable. Take the sword. The Imam said, I don't need your sword. I have Dhul Fiqar. Then the man said, okay, take my horse. It's an Arabian horse. Very expensive. It's 1,000 dinars. The Imam said, I don't need a fast horse because I don't run away from the battlefield. And if people run away from me, I don't chase them. So I don't need a fast horse. Then he said to him, إن بخلت علينا بمالك بنفسك فلا حاجة لنا بمالك. If you don't want to make any sacrifices, we don't need your wealth. We don't need your money. But be careful, Ya Ubaidullah ibn al-Hurr al-Juhfi. If you run away from me, because if you hear my plea and are indifferent towards my plea, God will throw you face first, head first, into the inferno. If you hear the Imam say, هَلْ مِن نَاصِرٍ يَنْصُرُنَا. Brothers and sisters, We heard the Imam say, هَلْ مِن نَاصِرٍ يَنْصُرُنَا. We can't be indifferent toward our religion. We can't sin as if the Imam was killed for no reason. He was killed to save us. He was killed to salvage us. So you had the example of Ubaidillah. And you had the other example of Turummah. Turummah was a man who left with Hussein from the city of Mecca. And he had made the decision to be with the Imam. But he wasn't the type of person that would seize the moment, an opportunity to make the right decision. He was hesitant. He was with the Imam, they go to Karbala, they camp in Karbala until the 7th of Muharram. He says to the Imam, Ya ibn Rasulullah, I want to sort out some things. I have a land that I need to sell. I have family members that I need to take care of. I'll take care of them and then come back to Karbala. So he leaves the Imam. And then he returns to Karbala, but it was on the 11th of Muharram. He wanted to support the Imam, but his support was a little bit shaky. It's like us. I'm still young. It's too early for me to be religious, to side with Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam. I don't want to go to Hajj now. I'm still young. Seize the moment. The Imam of your time is alone. He needs your support. Not because he's in need of you, but by supporting him, you're being salvaged. And the other example is the example of Sa'id ibn Abdullah, and I'll wrap up my speech. Sa'id ibn Abdullah was a man who was with the Imam. But he made an agreement with the Imam. He said, Ya ibn Rasulullah, I'll be with you. I'll join you, be with you, support you, defend you, until the time that I would be certain that if I stay with you, I'll get killed. So I'll stay with you, but I don't want to get killed for you and with you. The Imam agreed. The Imam agreed. The Imam doesn't want to impose anything on anyone. He comes with the Imam until all of his companions and family members were killed. He's still with the Imam. And he saw the Imam covered with blood. So he comes to the Imam, he says, Ya ibn Rasulullah, it's time for me to leave, because if I stay with you any longer, these people will kill me. The Imam said, but these people will chase you because they were surrounded by the enemies. He said, no, I am hiding a horse in one of the tents and I'll flee. He left the Imam. He left the Imam. He went on the back of his horse. He ran away. The enemies chased after him. They wanted to kill him, but he managed to flee. Historians tell us that he lost his mind later on. Imagine seeing the Imam in that state and leaving the Imam. But that is the case with a lot of people. Their Iman has limits. Yes, I pray, but I can't pray Salatul Fajr. Yes, I pray, but I don't want to wear hijab, for example. Yes, I pray, but I also mix with the opposite gender. Their Iman has limits. This guy's Iman had limits as well. السلام على الخد التريب. Salam be upon the cheek that was covered with dirt. As-salamu ala al-badan as-salim. السلام على الثغر المقروع بالقضيب. السلام على الشيب الخضيب. These are the words of your Imam, the Imam of our time. Salam be upon the beard that was stained with the blood of his heart. Salam be upon the broken forehead. Salam be upon the parched lips. این تنه به خود نشسته پیکر کیست؟ بار الها این حسین است. این گلوی پاره پاره حنجر کیست؟ بارلا این حسین است. ثمر باغ دل فاطمه است، چلچراغ منزل فاطمه است، نور بخش محفل فاطمه است. به روی نیزه جمال انور کیست؟ بارلا این حسین است. خار صحرا و بیابان یک سو، پای خونین یتیمان یک سو، سیلی و صورت طفلان یک سو. این که رویش شده نیلی دختر کیست؟ بارلاها این حسین است. مقتل و پیکر خونین حسین، فاطمه مادر غمگین حسین، آمده بر سر بالین حسین. این که میزند به سینه مادر کیست؟ بارلاها این حسین است. ولا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم. Let's all together recite the verse أَمَّنْ يُجِيبُ, so that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala heals and cures the sick, especially His Eminence Sheikh Shubbar, who is currently in the hospital. He attended the majalis in the first 2 nights, but apparently he couldn't come last night and tonight because he's in hospital. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Amman yujibul mudtarra idha da'ah wa yakshifu as-su'. Amman say it wholeheartedly. Amman yujibul Amman yujibul Amman yujibul Ya Allah, 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 اشف مرضانا لا سيما مريضنا المنظور يا الله. Let's recite Dua al-Faraj together and conclude the majlis. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Allahumma kun liwaliyika al-Hujjat ibn الحسن صلواتك عليه وعلى آباء في هذه وفي كل وليا وحافظا وقائدا ودليلا حتى أرضك وتمتعه طويلا برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. Please recite Surah Al-Fatiha after a loud salawat.
Ya Hussein, Hussein, Ya Hussein, Ya Hussein.
Ya Hussein.
नस्ल मुकाया मैं कैद भी निभाया अपनी 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 नस्ल मैं कैद भी निभाया अपनी नस्ल मुकाया मैं कैद भी निभाया अपनी नस्ल मुकाया मैं कैद भी निभाया अपनी नस्ल मुकाया मैं कैद भी निभाया रुल रुल के विच बाजारां दे रुल रुल के विच बाजारां दे इस्लाम नू बचाया अपनी नस्ल मुकाया मैं कैद भी निभाया अपनी नस्ल मुकाया मैं कैद भी निभाया अपनी नस्ल मुकाया मैं कैद भी निभाया रुल रुल के विच बाजारां दे रुल रुल के विच बाजारां दे इस्लाम नू बचाया अपनी नस्ल मुकाया मैं कैद भी निभाया 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 आके कबर रसूल ते मेरी सैन की नाना उजड़ के आ गया रो रो आख से आके कबर रसूल ते मेरी सैन की नाना मैं रुल के आ गया रो रो आख से शबीर दी शहादत नू शबीर शहादत नू नाना मैं रंग लाया अपनी नस्ल मुकाया इस्लाम भी बचाया अपनी नस्ल बचाया मैं कैद भी निभाया अपनी नस्ल मुकाया मैं कैद भी निभाया अपनी नस्ल मुकाया मैं कैद भी निभाया आके कबर रसूल ते मेरी सैन की नाना उजड़ के आ गया रो रो आख से शबीर दी शहादत नू शबीर दे शहादत नू नाना मैं रंग लाया अपनी नस्ल मुकाया मैं कैद भी निभाया अपनी नस्ल मुकाया मैं कैद भी निभाया नस्ल मुकाया मैं कैद भी निभाया अपनी नस्ल मुकाया मैं कैद भी निभाया दरबार विच नवासिया आया नबी दिया हाय तो फैल रुल गया दिया ले दिया दरबार विच नवासिया आया नबी दिया हाय तो फैल रुल गया दिया ले दिया मलून दिया तदबीरा मलून दिया तदबीरा विच खाक दे मिलाया अपनी नस्ल मुकाया मैं कैद भी निभाया 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 आके कबर रसूल पे मेरी साढ़े की नाना उजड़ के आ गया रो रोए आग से आके कबर रसूल पे मेरी साढ़े की नाना उजड़ के आ गया रो रोए आग से शबीर दे शहादत नो शबीर दी शहादत नो नाना में रंग लाया अपनी नस्ल मुकाया मैं कैद भी निभाया अपनी नस्ल मुकाया मैं कैद भी निभाया अपनी नस्ल मुकाया मैं कैद भी निभाया अपनी नस्ल मुकाया करबल ते कूफा शाम दे कीते ने मैं सफर दरबार ते बाजार दी आ गई दरबार ते बाजार वे मैं आया नंगे सर करबल ते कूफा शाम दे कीते ने मैं सफर दरबार ते बाजार भी गैया मैं नंगे सर हाय बलवाया मदे अंदर हाय बलवाया मदे अंदर खुद पहले पर सुनाया अपनी नस्ल मुकाया मैं कैद भी निभाया अपनी नस्ल मुकाया मैं कैद भी निभाया अपनी नस्ल मुकाया मैं कैद भी निभाया करबल ते कूफा शाम दे कीते ने मैं सफर दरबार ते बाजार भी गैया मैं नंगे सर करबल ते कूफा शाम दे कीते ने मैं सफर दरबार ते बाजार भी गैया मैं नंगे सर हाय बलवाया मदे अंदर हाय बलवाया मदे अंदर खुद मेरे पर सुनाया अपनी नस्ल मुकाया मैं कैद भी निभाया अपनी नस्ल मुकाया मैं कैद भी निभाया अपनी नस्ल मुकाया मैं कैद भी निभाया عجب كيميائي ولاي حسين است يا حسين خوش آن دلی که آشنای حسین است یا حسین بهشت است مزد عزاداری یا حسین بر این وعده از دامن خدای حسین است یا حسین غم و درد پنهان که در سینه داری یا حسین علاجش به دار و شفای حسین است یا حسین بر محمد و آل محمد صلوات
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد مولایا امام زمان 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 دیگر بس است جدائی خدا کند که بیایی دیگر بس است جدائی خدا کند که بیایی مولایا امام زمان مولایا امام زمان مولایا امام زمان مولایا امام زمان شب فراق تو جانا خدا کند که سراین شب فراق تو جانا خدا کند که سراین سرای تو برائی خدا کند که بیایی سرای تو برائی خدا کند که بیایی مولایا امام زمان مولایا امام زمان مولایا امام زمان مولایا امام زمان دیگر بس است جدائی خدا کند که بیایی دیگر بس است جدائی خدا کند که بیایی مولایا امام زمان مولایا امام زمان مولایا امام زمان مولایا امام زمان دمی که بی تو براید خدا کند که نباشد دمی که بی تو براید خدا کند که نباشد اللہ کی ہستی مائی خدا کند که بیایی اللہ کی ہستی مائی خدا کند که بیایی مولایا امام زمان مولایا امام زمان مولایا امام زمان مولایا امام زمان دیگر بس است جدائی خدا کند که بیایی دیگر بس است جدائی خدا کند که بیایی قسم به اسمت زهرا بیاز غیبت کبرا قسم به اسمت زهرا بیاز غیبت کبرا دیگر بس است جدائی حالاک راز خدایی دیگر بس است جدائی بولو حالاک راز خدایی مولایا امام زمان مولایا امام زمان مولایا امام ज़मान मौलाया इमाम ज़मान दिगर बसस्त जुदाई खुदा को नद के भी आई दिगर बसस्त जुदाई खुदा को नद की भी आई शबे फिराग तो जाना खुदा को नद के सरायन शबे फिराग तो जाना खुदा को नद के सरायन सराय दो तो बराई खुदा को नद की भी आई सराय दो तो बराई खुदा को नद की भी आई मौलाया इमाम ज़मान मौलाया इमाम ज़मान मौलाया इमाम ज़मान मौलाया इमाम ज़मान दिगर बसस्त जुदाई खुदा को नद के भी आई दिगर बसस्त जुदाई खुदा को नद के भी आई मौलाया इमाम ज़मान मौलाया इमाम ज़मान मौलाया इमाम ज़मान मौलाया इमाम ज़मान दमे के बेच बरायन खुदा को नद के नबाशन दमे के बेच बरायन खुदा को नद के नबाशन हला के हस्ती माई खुदा को नद के भी आई अल्लाह के हस्ती माई खुदा को नद के भी आई मौलाया इमाम ज़मान मौलाया इमाम ज़मान मौलाया इमाम ज़मान मौलाया इमाम ताजिद दरफा जवान इमाम ज़मान सलावत
Inshallah, bus for Julus to New York City will go on this coming Sunday. There are still few seats available. If you like to go, please talk to Sayyid Hasnain Sahab, and the nominal charge is $20 per person. Assalamu alaikum.
اللهم ارزقنا شفاعة الحسين السلام عليك يا رسول الله السلام عليك يا أمير المؤمنين علي بن أبي طالب السلام عليك يا فاطمة الزهراء سيدة النساء العالمين السلام عليك يا حسن المجتبى السلام عليك يا أبا عبد الله الحسين السلام على الحسين وعلى علي بن الحسين وعلى أولاد الحسين وعلى أصحاب الحسين جميعا ورحمة الله وبركاته السلام عليك يا غريب الغرباء السلام عليك يا معين الضعفاء والفقراء السلام عليك يا مغيث الشية والزوار في يوم الجزاء السلام عليك يا أنس النفوس السلام عليك يا شمس الشموس السلام عليك يا سلطان الأرب والعجم السلام عليك يا ولي ابن مسردا أيها المدفون بأرض توس السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته السلام عليك يا صاحب العصر والزمان الأمان 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 من فتنة الزمان السلام عليك يا خليفة الرحمن السلام عليك يا شريك القرآن السلام عليك يا إمام الإنس والجان السلام عليك يا مظهر الإيمان أجل الله تعالى فرجك وسال الله مخرجك وظهورك وجعلنا من أعوانك وأنصارك السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته درود بر محمد و آل محمد